welcome to SveNFL.
What is up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Skip Musara.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about football. Yeah, man. It's another week. Week 7's in the books. And just so many opportunities that were squandered for some teams and taken advantage of by other teams. And here we are. The playoff picture is getting a little more clear.
True.
A certain injury that we'll talk about has everybody breathing a collective NFL sigh of relief. That we won't have to talk about a certain storyline anymore. And both of our teams lost, but both of our college teams won. So we're in a weird state.
I went into Sunday, Georgia beats number 1 ranked Texas on Saturday night while I was asleep. I was very happy when I woke up, and my first thought after, realizing what the Bulldogs had just done, I popped out of bed and I said, only the Falcons can ruin my day now.
And then Falcons said, we got you, bro.
We got you. Got you.
Damn. Sorry, man.
It happens, you know what I mean? We'll get to it, but it's
Yeah.
I'm not too upset about it anymore. I was when it was happening, but now I'm good.
I know we're in an NFL podcast. But since both of our teams are in the top 10, both of our teams are in the top 7, then I feel like we could just mention it. The Georgia's number 2 right now.
Aren't both of our teams in the top 5?
No, Miami's number 6.
Where's Miami?
Number 6. Texas is number 5 with a loss. Ohio State, number 4 with a loss.
Ohio State, their one loss came to Oregon, who's now ranked number 1.
Number 1, yeah.
Texas.
That's flimsy, man. Y'all gonna be number 1 by then.
Yeah, it's all good. It's a different.
We're gonna
world.
lose. We can't keep winning like this. We're gonna lose. But
you guys must not
fun.
have played anybody very good so far. That's the only reason for you to
it's got to be strength of schedule. But it's and the rest of the season is gonna be supposed to be pretty easy for Miami. So
just throw some trash on the field, and
it might change a call.
You'll be fine.
Temper tantrum.
Texas. Bunch of whiny little bitches.
Whiny little bitches. Steers and queers.
Horns down.
But yeah, I just had to check in on that for those college fans. There's probably a couple out there. Or maybe we got people interested. But
maybe. But I'd say this, you will disrespect my Bulldogs at your peril. Texas learned that lesson the hard way this weekend.
Let them know, man. And the heart attack Hurricanes just doing what they do.
I can't. They're crazy, man. They're fun to watch, though.
So fun. It's got to be the most fun team in football, man.
They are really fun to watch.
But we got week 7 to review.
You know who isn't fun to watch?
I was waiting. I was going to.
The New Orleans Saints. Let's do this.
Spencer Rattler, man.
33-10. Okay, so Sean Payton was in the building. Drew Brees was in the building being inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame, which only served as a very, very bitter reminder for Saints fans of just how far this franchise has fallen from grace as they were treated to this 33-10 curb stomping by the Denver Broncos. Spencer Rattler, second NFL start, but he had to do so without Chris Olave, without Rashid Shaheed.
Man, they are. They're beat up.
Yeah, they are. And they've got a bunch of injuries all over the field, too. Sean Payton and that Broncos defense were just salivating at the opportunity. They sacked Spencer Rattler 6 times. They forced 2 fumbles, one of which got scooped up and taken, 50 or 60 something yards to the house.
Yeah.
Bo Nix wasn't good, but he didn't have to be good. He wasn't bad either. The Broncos finally got their run game going. Javonte Williams had a day for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's been the biggest mystery about this team for me all year. Like, they came into the year, you were supposed to have a good run game to take a little pressure off of this rookie, and it's week 7 is the first time we've actually seen it.
Yeah, but how about Bo Nix they were using him in the run game.
True.
That was pretty. I was like, oh, huh. That's something that Sean Payton don't normally whip out. But Bo Nix was scrambling his little ass off.
Yeah.
He had that one big, most of the yards on that big one when he went down the sidelines on the left. But he's got some wheels on him, man. Remind me of Matty.
He does. He's got a little scramble in him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not. Ultimately, the Broncos' defense is the real deal here. I mean, they made this very light work for Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I think we're in a position right now where I think we know everything we need to know about the Saints, but the Broncos to me are one of those teams that, they'll beat bad teams and they'll struggle against everybody else for the most part.
I feel like they're going to be an end of the season spoiler type of team.
They got 7 and 10 written all over them.
Yeah, and they're just going to ruin some people's chances later down the line when they got nothing to play for and shit. It's going to be that type of team. Too good to be a bad team.
Right.
But there's a team that's worse than a bad team, and that's the New England Patriots, and I love it so much. I am, getting hard right now just thinking about it, about how bad they.
My thing was hard.
That's great.
London was treated to a football game between two teams that were 1-5 going head to head in this game. Great start for the Patriots. Scoring on their opening drive for the first time all year.
Yeah, man.
They went up 10-0 after a field goal drive, but then it all started to unravel from there. T-Law started slinging it to his associates, especially this rookie, Brian Thomas Jr.
Love this guy.
Man, he's good. And Tank Bigsby just punishing.
Yeah, another one I love. They got some fun players, man.
They did some shit in the second half where they ran like 19 run plays in a row or something.
Yes,
it was crazy.
Man, that's embarrassing for the Patriots. But I even like Evan Ingram. He's another player I like to watch play, man. They got some fun players on their team. I don't really like watching Trevor Lawrence, but the associates, man, they're fun. Christian Kirk is fun too.
There was a crazy section of this game where the Pats dropped 22 points in like 2 minutes of game time.
The Pats dropped? Like they got scored?
Yeah, they got scored on 20. It was just like an insane sequence of events that led to the Jaguars scoring 22 points and like towards the end of the first half. It was crazy. And then the second half didn't get any better for them either. The Jags, basically just leaned on Tank Bigsby in the second half and just ran it down their throats. The final score was 32-16. I mean, if you're a Patriots fan, I think the only real positive takeaway from this is that you should have, if you didn't know this already, you should have known this is a rebuild year for you guys. The good news is Drake May looks like a real quarterback.
Yeah,
he really, really does. And all you have to do is just keep building around this guy, and I think you could become relevant, quicker than you thought, I think.
Quick question.
Not this year, of course. But.
Does Gerard Mayo look like a real coach?
You know what? I think I don't know. I'm willing to give a little grace to Gerard Mayo. I think he's stepping into an impossible pair of shoes that needed to be filled by following Bill Belichick. It doesn't help that Bill Belichick is on every fucking show on the planet as an analyst. I think Gerard Mayo needs to be given time to find his groove, basically.
Well, he's not helping himself out at all.
He's not. I agree.
He's going out. He's just like, just shut up, bro. Just shut up, put it on yourself, say we're going to keep working hard, but calling the team soft and shit like that.
I think the one thing that he could learn, I think one of the things that he could learn from his predecessor would be say less.
Yes, say less.
Just say less. And you don't have to be as grumpy about it. Like you can still be, whatever, but just say less.
And calling your team soft, I mean, you're going at the identity of the team, but isn't it you that creates that identity?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. If I was a player, I'd be super offended and wouldn't want to play for this guy. You out here in the media, and there was something else he did too. It was like every time, it's like every week he sits down with these local Patriots sports guys and just don't be so available, Gerard. I know you
say
trying
less.
to change the culture and all of that stuff, but maybe not.
Definitely say less.
Yeah, I forget what it was the last time. I was like, oof, last time he said something else. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that brings us to our next game, the bird battle.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the bird battle.
A bird battle where two birds flew in and one came crashing back to earth, full of buckshot. The Seahawks came in on a 3-game losing streak, and the Falcons were on a 4-game heater. Something had to change, obviously. K9, who played Kenneth Walker, played with the flu.
Oh, I know K9.
He was playing with the flu. This was his flu game, and he just absolutely murdered us.
It was his birthday, too.
That's right. He had the flu on his birthday in the A, and he just said, everybody just needs to fuck off. He was kind of unstoppable for the most part. So was DK Metcalf. Yeah. Gino looked good.
When they're humming, man.
They are, and their defense kind of showed up. They've been highly criticized over this 3-game losing streak, and they stepped up. They picked off Kirk Cousins twice. It just wasn't a great performance defensively from the Atlanta Falcons. I felt like the coverage was too soft. I think that they, for whatever reason, they just weren't ready to face. We knew Gino was going to come in and sling it, and he just kind of carved us up for the most part. We were playing catch up the whole game.
He threw it less than normal too, man. 28 times.
Yeah.
Normal, he's up around 40.
I mean,
they were more balanced than normal.
I don't know what else to say about the Falcons other than I think that they're one of these. As much as I'm a fan, I have to admit, I think they feel like one of these fake winning like they've won all of the games that they've won. They've won in very dramatic fashion.
Yeah, they've been a heart attack team.
They remind me of the way we used to talk about the Vikings with Kirk Cousins.
And the Steelers that year too,
yeah, where you just don't buy their record necessarily, and you kind of, we've had one game all year where I didn't have to watch it all the way to the end and worry about what was going to happen, and I think that was against the Carolina Panthers. So it's like, I don't know. I think the rest of the season is just going to be like this. Like it's just going to be some games they're going to look great, and some games it's going to be a nail biter. And some games they're just going to get flat out exposed.
Damn. Speaking of flat out exposed, Tennessee Titans are shaping up to be the worst team in the league, as I predicted before the year. Remember we tried to make, what was that? How's that looking? We couldn't make. They wouldn't allow us to make the bet, but the trash treasure parlay.
All right,
because we had Titans as one of the trash, and then 49ers under 11, right? That's looking good.
It is.
And then the what were the overs? Chargers. I don't forget the other one.
Yeah, I mean,
the Titans we were thinking they're going to be one of the worst teams, and it's looking like it, man.
It was a weird start to this game. You had Josh Allen going up against Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer,
Weren't they up 10-0 at some point?
They were up 10-0.
So, yeah.
The Bills did not look good in the first half, but then they kind of got their shit together. I mean, obviously Titans went up 10-0, and then the Bills scored 34 unanswered points. They just got their shit together. It took a minute to feel like Josh Allen and Amari Cooper were on the same page. He had a couple of drops early in the game, but then things started to settle in. He didn't really blow away the box score or anything, but he did catch his first touchdown for the Bills, so that's good.
I'm glad for him, man.
Keon Coleman had 125 yards on only 4 catches. That's crazy.
Balling. He had that one where he just ran away from everybody. Yeah. I was really glad for him, man, because got some help now. That receiver core looked hurt, but really good move to bring in Amari Cooper. And it shows that Josh Allen throwing for over 300 yards and 60% passing and shit. So
really, really smart move by them. I think it keeps them relevant. It keeps them dangerous.
Oh shit! We got breaking news, man. Devontae Adams requested a trade.
He went to the wrong New York team.
Yeah, he's like, no, I didn't say Jets. Dummy.
I don't know, really. The Titans are not serious people. So
no, that's true.
I don't really know what to take away.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't even know how to assess the Bills, to be honest with you. In this game.
I was going to say the two not serious teams, but the Bills are looking like they're going to take that division because that division is trash.
It's true,
but they don't. Yeah, they're not looking like world beaters like they did a couple years ago.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Now we're here. We have arrived.
Okay. Let's start. Okay, the Bengals beat the Browns 21-14. Yes. We'll start with the positive. Okay. My man, former Bulldog, Nick Chubb, he's back on the field. He's back on the field and back in the end zone where he belongs.
Yes, man. We should have bet on a Nick Chubb anytime touchdown like we did Saquon. Like that was.
How great was it?
So good.
I mean, the fan reaction when he got into the end zone.
So happy, yeah.
You had to feel it for them.
First the dive and then the little toss, come around the side. Yeah, it was nice. But
obviously, the story of this game is clearly the injury to Deshaun Watson. Yeah, exactly. The slow motion replay, you could see it immediately. It was his Achilles. I didn't need to wait for the report. It was clear as day.
Like Rodgers, I remember seeing his when you just see the little ripple, the little wave down the leg.
I don't normally root for injuries, but in this case, I'm making an exception.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that out loud.
And I'm not here for this like kind of goofy, like all these people who are trying to thread the needle between like, I would never root for his injury, but Myles Garrett's probably
Cleveland was rooting for the injury.
Exactly. And that's sort of what I wanted to bring up. This idea of the fans chanting. I don't know. Someone sent me a clip. I don't even know if it's real, but it sounded quite clear that the entire stadium was chanting, "You deserve it," as Watson was being carted off of the field.
I gotta look that up. Damn, no way. That can't be real. That can't be real.
If you look, Myles Garrett after the game had a lot of criticism for the fans who were chanting and booing and whatnot.
Okay.
And he said probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody say. He was like, look, we're talking about a guy who plays hard for his team, He's been a model citizen all throughout his high school years, his college years, and for most of his NFL year. I was like,
what?
Myles Garrett, shut the fuck up. Everyone's trying to do this thing where it's like, well, I don't root for injuries, and I'm like, look, you're glad he's gone, just like the rest of us.
Yes.
So if you think it's in bad taste, I get that. But as far as I'm concerned, on the power rankings of things in bad taste, I put sexual assault a lot higher than public scorn, personally. So I'm happy he got hurt. This is like for the team, for the players on the team, this is the best case scenario. For the organization, which we can get into another time as far as the financial repercussions, they're still fucked, right? They're still stuck with this situation in a very real and very expensive way. But as far as the players are concerned, you know, I'm happy for them that they don't have to deal with this shit anymore.
I'm gonna try to bring this in, this "you deserve it" thing, because I found it, and it's gonna be a little wacky on our screen, but whatever. I'll do what I can and put this.
I'm sure the 5 people who watch our YouTube stream.
I know, right? All right, here we. Let me try to put this up and.
Unbelievable scene. Deshaun Watson carted off the field. This was seconds ago. Players from both teams giving him words of encouragement. See the emotion outpouring from Deshaun Watson. Just an unbelievable scene. Deshaun Watson carted off the field. This was seconds ago.
Crazy, right?
I can't believe that shit.
I mean, that's a very poetic ending to this whole thing, in my opinion.
Wow. You deserve it.
Yeah.
That was Browns fans? They were playing in, weren't they in Cincinnati?
No.
They were in Cleveland. God damn. Oh, man. But he was raised by his mother, man. Christian.
Yeah, of course. Like that somehow.
Jeffrey Dahmer was raised by his mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Look, as far as from the Bengals side of things, we should at least mention them. They really struggled in this game. The Browns defense probably played the best game that they've played all year.
Yeah, they definitely did. But they're always up. They always give the Bengals trouble, man.
They do. I think this might be the first time that Joe Burrow has beaten that Joe Burrow has beaten the Browns in Cincinnati.
It's interestingly time, man. They're gonna make their run. Bengals gonna make their run. It's on.
It wasn't until the Browns got to their third quarterback on the day they started to look a little dangerous. After Deshaun Watson went down, they put in Dorian Thompson-Robinson, which was a little
strange,
bit of a head scratcher because it was like, wait, I thought Jameis Winston apparently had been demoted to the third string quarterback. But DTR did not play well. I think he threw a couple of picks, or at least one pick.
He threw 2.
They turned to Jameis. They turned to Jameis Winston, and he had a really nice late game drive to make it close. But they tried the onside kick. It didn't work, and the Bengals essentially put the game on ice. I mean, the Bengals might actually lose this game if they don't have
Deshaun stays in.
This the 100-yard kickoff return to the house on the first play of the game. Without that, it's like, again, there'll be more information about the Deshaun Watson situation regarding the financial repercussions. But just to give you a little bit of a heads up about the situation that they're in, the dead cap, if he's cut, right, if they decide to cut him after the league year, $118,935,000.
It's like half the salary cap.
Yeah.
God damn.
And then they have to deal with the situation of if he rehabs, recovers, and wants to come back, presumably the Browns are going to be in the running for a top 5 pick this year. Do you take a quarterback? And at which point, how do you handle that situation where you have a quarterback on your roster who's making that much money and you have I really don't know what they're going to do. There's going to be, people are already going to start doing long form articles about this situation in the coming weeks. And we'll get into it in a little more detail when we learn more, but that's just kind of a snapshot of what they're looking at.
You know what I would say is, if I were the Browns, I would say, let's look at this just strictly football. All the decisions from now on is not to make up for mistakes we've made or Hail Marys that we threw or whatever. Football only. Every decision is going to just be football for the, remainder of Stefanski's time here or whatever. Like, that's the way they should look at it. Like, this is a football decision. No more business decisions. No more, structure, salary, blah, blah, blah. What's best for the team? And it feels like the best for the team was for Deshaun Watson not to start anyway. And they got a blessing in disguise with this injury. And now they can regroup. And behind the scenes, the front office needs to be figuring out what's best football.
Agreed.
Even if it's eating that fucking $119 million.
As far as the vibes are concerned, this is like best case scenario. The guy's not on the field. He's not the face of your franchise. But he still has 2 years left on his deal. All this money, it financially speaking, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I'm of the opinion that they just need to rip the Band-Aid off and just get it over with.
Yeah. Yep.
And if I'm Deshaun Watson, if I'm being carted off the field listening to my fans telling me that I deserve it,
for you. Yeah.
Why the fuck would I ever want to come back to play football for that franchise? Yep. And what other franchise is going to want him? Yeah. Nobody. So
that might have been the last time we see him. Crazy.
If I were him, I would just retire, buy an island, and just disappear.
Yep. I heard there's one for sale, Epstein Island.
Yeah. That would be perfect for him.
Oh, man. Then game of the week, man. We had a barn burner, which maybe not this year, but maybe time down the line. This might be a Super Bowl at some point with the Packers and the Texans.
Yeah. I mean, look,
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that I beat the shit out of you in Flip and Pick 'em this week.
Yeah, you did.
But continue.
We thought this was going to be a good game. This was a terrible game.
Game of the week.
The
fourth quarter. With the drama. There was drama at the end of the game.
There was. Okay, so there was drama and the game,
the action was front loaded, and then at the end it was just like
the thing that you had just a few days before firing their kicker and deciding to sign Brendan McManus, he steps up and pipes a 45-yard game winner. So it ended in a dramatic and kind of entertaining fashion. But in all honesty, both Stroud and Love were terrible in this game.
Yes.
The only reason it was really close was because of all the Packers turnovers, one of them being a muff punt. Stroud was 10 for 21, only 86 yards passing.
That's some Bo Nix numbers.
I mean, the Packers don't win this game without their defense playing like their hair's on fire. They completely shut down the Texans in the second half.
Texans defense was looking good too.
Exactly. But this was, this was supposed to be like a heavyweight matchup between, two of the the young generation. Like, these guys have arrived, and honestly, they both stepped on a rake. They look terrible.
The heroes, Joe Mixon, which is what the Texans wanted to do anyway, is to get this run going. Joe Mixon was balling out of control.
He was.
And Josh Jacobs looked great too.
Yeah.
On the other side.
I mean, they had to, honestly. I mean, look at the Texans. Tank Dell had 4 targets, 0 catches.
How important is Nico Collins, man?
Very. Because even, look at Diggs. Diggs had 7 targets, 5 catches, only 23 yards.
Yeah, they need
I mean, I don't know what happened, honestly. I just think I
think the Packers are pretty good because
I think the Packers defense is very underrated so far.
I went in talking my AFC shit, and these NFC teams were thumping the AFC, except for the 49ers. I think there was one more NFC that beat AFC.
Yeah.
AFC that won. I think that's Ravens.
This game, despite the dramatic ending, was pretty embarrassing on the offensive side. Speaking of embarrassing.
Yeah, man. Should I talk about this? A game I watched frustratingly, standing up, screaming at my television. And I think I'm 1 foot out of the door of the Mike McDaniel crack house. I'm ready to throw on my the mantle of Mike McDaniel is fool's gold. But more on that later. I just can't believe that the Dolphins lost this game, and the Colts were trying their best. They were like, "Stop! We don't want to win. Like, what are y'all doing? Okay, I guess we'll win." That's how it looked like. I was terrified that Joe Flacco would come in the game because Anthony Richardson was so bad at quarterback, and then we found a way to lose to him. It was disgusting.
Yeah, that to me was the most embarrassing part. You had Richardson going 10 for 24, 129 yards, and the Dolphins still couldn't beat him. I mean, it's like
he fumbled too. He fumbled.
You had
the ball.
The fumbles. You had missed field goals.
We had fumbles. Yeah,
Tyreek has one catch for 8 yards. Only
he got that catch in the third quarter.
Yeah,
they didn't throw the ball to Tyreek or Jalen Waddle until the second half. I was looking at screaming at my TV. And if you got this genius of an offensive coordinator, then he should be drawing up some shit for 2 weeks that you had to prepare for this game because you're coming off a bye week and you don't have a play set up to easily get the ball. Not even a screen. They didn't even throw a screen to these guys, man. Oh, man, I was pissed off. They tried to end around to Hill just to get the ball in his hands, and he got run out of bounds for like 4 yards. It's just like, what's going on, man? It was so frustrating. And then at the end, then our only hope, Tyler Huntley, gets hurt. Is his name Tyler? I can't even think, man.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley gets hurt. His shoulder. So now he's out. So he is our third quarterback of the season. Now our fourth one, Tim Boyle, comes in, and it was Mike McDaniel got fucking schooled on making him call a timeout in the fourth quarter. He did his trademark burn a timeout early in the game because to avoid delay a game, because that's just one of our things that we do. He had another one later where they pretended they were going to go for two. So they just took their kickers. They set it up. They lined up with the special teams, and then just threw Richardson on the field and lined up as if they're going to go for two. And then McDaniel burns a timeout. Then they kicked it. So he's burned a timeout. They kicked it. Didn't even lose the play. And now we're 2 timeouts down 6 or down 3, whatever it was. And then lost the fucking game. Just burned out. Just lost all of it. Just time just milked away at the end of the game. Just not spiking the ball. Never spike the ball. Throw it across the middle as you do when you're trying to save the clock. It was just, I was so fucking mad. They looked incompetent. They looked poorly coached. And they extended him before the season started. And you can't just say it's Tua because they looked bad before Tua got hurt. Tua threw 3 picks the game that he got hurt. So this is looking like a fucking mess that they need to get together. He's got to prove it. His seat should be burning hot right now.
Yeah, we said it a couple of days ago. Coming off a bye, if you can't figure out a way to take advantage of the Colts.
The Colts that are just trying to see if we have the right guy. The Colts are in that mode. Is he the quarterback or not? Let's make our decision. Throw him out there, see what he does. And he looked like shit. He looked horrible as a quarterback. Yeah. And I was like, we're gonna win this game. Thankfully, that's how I thought after the first couple drives. Okay.
Oh yeah, me too.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way to win. And then just fumble after fumble, opportunity blown after opportunity blown, getting out coached, outclassed by Shane Steichen. Fuck, man, I was so mad. So yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Who's our old coach? Who do we run out of the building because the culture was too tough? Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings.
Didn't you have Dan Campbell on your staff too?
Dan Campbell, yep. All of the cast-offs over here in what looks like an NFC championship game over here with the two of the best teams in the NFC going at it while we look over here with our fancy offense that it looks like diarrhea.
Lions-Vikings, this was truly the game of the week.
Yeah.
Lions win 31-29. You had the best defensive coordinator going up against the best offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
The Vikings were kind of chasing the game all day long, down by 11 twice in this game, but kept climbing back into it.
They started out fast, though. They were up early.
Yeah, but the Lions put it on them after that. The Lions made a few big mistakes. Dan Campbell is the new gambler, doing the fake punt. And,
he's the Riverboat Ron.
He is. He's the Riverboat Ron of this generation. This game had just so much entertainment from beginning to end. I mean, if you're going to go back and watch a game, go watch this one because it was unreal. They got that. The Vikings got that fourth quarter forced fumble, scooped it up, scored, took the lead finally late, but they left a little too much time on the clock. And Goff, was just nails all day, put together a drive, and Lions kicker Jack Bates splits the uprights from 44 yards for the win. I mean, this game had a little bit of everything, but honestly, I mean, this Lions offense is just special. I mean, the way that they can come at you weak, they have so many pieces that when one of them isn't functioning or it could be one of those things where the game plan is like, look, we're going to kill this team with Jameson Williams this week, but next week we're just going to give him the night off. You know what I mean? It's like, this guy is like the fastest guy in the league, unstoppable. And then all of a sudden you roll into one of your biggest games of the year and you only target him one time. You're like, nah, it's good. We'll stick with Amon-Ra St. Brown. We'll let Jahmyr Gibbs run all over these motherfuckers. 116 yards rushing, 44 yards receiving. He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, Goff was out here throwing touchdowns to Khalif Raymond, for Christ's sakes. I mean, they
look good, man. I like this, and this is a rivalry. This could be a thing for a while, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
fantastic.
I don't think it's any real debate. I think the Lions are the most fun team in the league.
Oh yeah.
They're so much fun to watch. They're must-see TV every week. This is a phenomenal game. They to me are like, they're the new 49ers.
Yep.
They got all these bells and whistles. They can hurt you in a ton of different ways. They got the true pocket quarterback who barely throws an incompletion. I think I saw some crazy stat when I woke up this morning. They have more touchdowns this year than Goff has incompletions.
God.
Like on the year.
Yeah, but he is balling out of control, man. His percentage.
It's crazy.
But that reflects on the coordinator. He's so smart for staying there. Like, you know what? Coaching jobs will be there. I'll find the perfect fit. Until then, we're going to keep fucking kicking ass and getting better and gelling even more. That's how a coordinator should do it, man. Some coordinators, they rush and then they join the Dolphins. Then they get addicted to cocaine. And then,
sex addiction. Dave Canales. Porn addiction. Sorry, porn addiction. My bad. Sorry, don't.
Sex.
Let me.
How dare you?
Porn addiction.
Yeah, man. Then we got the Eagles with a get-right game.
Speaking of porn addiction, the Giants got fucked in every hole they could possibly imagine. If Giants GM Joe Shane doesn't get fired after this game for letting Saquon go, that dude must know where all the bodies are buried. It kind of reminded me, remember when the Titans GM got fired after they got cooked by A.J. Brown?
Yes.
I mean, Saquon just went absolutely off. 17 carries, 176 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He was running Giants over left and right, just pancaking dudes. I mean,
yes, it's great to see.
I mean, the Giants had 119 total yards. The lowest total. The lowest total for the Giants this century.
Oh. That's so bad. Wow, man.
I mean,
11 punts, bro.
Hurts didn't even really have to do anything. He 10 for 14, 114 yards.
Yo, I'm Hurts, man. He not looking like that dude anymore.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but he don't need to be. He don't need to be. I mean, it's crazy they're 4-2. They don't feel like a 4-2 team, right?
No,
but they're doing it, man. It's helping our bet.
The score was 28-3, which obviously gives me a little bit of PTSD when I see those two numbers together. But just saying, Giants, maybe there's still hope.
Yeah, they're 2-5, man. Oof.
I haven't really. Okay, the other thing that has to be mentioned about this game, it doesn't have to be, but it's going to be. My former Bulldogs were eaten on defense. They finally had their best defensive performance. Nakobe Dean had 2 sacks. Jalen Carter had 2 sacks. Nolan Smith had a sack. All of them Bulldogs.
Where did Daniel Jones throw the ball? I see he's throwing a 66% clip and then only has 99 yards. Was it all screens? It
was all checkdowns.
Checkdown?
It was all checkdowns.
Ugh.
Terrible. Giants fans, it's never a good feeling when you have one of your favorite franchise players come back in your building and embarrass you like that. I mean, that's a tough one.
And that's right up Sirianni's alley right there. Like a revenge rah-rah type game. It's right up his alley to the type of coach he is.
Yeah.
To get the team to rally so that we can take these guys down because we're one. We're all, you know what I mean? Man, the Rams.
Yes.
Ran up against the Raiders, and the Raiders are another team that I thought was going to be pretty bad. And it's working out that way. Yeah,
this was another game that wasn't terribly interesting. Aiden O'Connell gets knocked out early with a hand injury. I think he may have broken his thumb.
Yeah, the guy swiping at the ball. Yeah.
Minshew comes in and throws 3 interceptions.
As you do.
My man, former Bulldog Brock Bowers, had a day and is on pace to make history with yards and catches, I think, by a rookie. He's on pace to beat Puka Nakua's record from last year.
Damn.
So he's quietly kind of ripping it up. I hated when he got drafted to the Raiders. I was like, I don't want him to go there. I want him to go somewhere fun,
Yeah.
Rams weren't great either. But they have Kieran Williams, who just keeps the team afloat whenever they play a team as bad as the Raiders. He had 76 yards and a couple of touchdowns. I think the Rams are one of those teams that are, they have enough pieces to beat teams like this, but I think they just have too many injuries all over the field. I think Cooper Kupp might be coming back next week. So we'll see. I don't know. I worry about the Rams. I think they're going to have a very mediocre season, but
Yeah, didn't I pick them to go to Super Bowl? I was drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you were all up
on the Rams whiskey.
You were all up on Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, man. I should have chilled on that. I should have got all up on these Commanders coming out of nowhere, playing against you know what? Let me chill. They played the Panthers. We shouldn't even talk much about this game. The Panthers are a fucking horrible excuse for a football team right now.
This game was pure comedy right from the get-go. Andy Dalton threw the most hilarious pick six on the first snap of the game. Threw it right to the wrong dude who took it 46 yards to the house. He threw another one a few drives later. That one wasn't quite as funny, but it was almost as bad. And even they gave Jaden Daniels a 7-point head start. But then he gets popped, heads into the locker room with a rib injury, which brought us our first sighting of the year.
Marcus Mariota.
There you go. Marcus Mariota came out and carved up the Carolina Panthers, 18 for 23, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Glad for him, man.
It didn't look great in the beginning, but honestly, once he settled in,
he started moving around. He started moving around out the pocket. Scrambling up and down. They're putting him into mixing it up,
doing all that old school flying Hawaiian shit. I mean,
he ran it 11 times, bro.
Yeah, it kind of made you sort of, at some point, like towards the end of the game, you were like, hold on a second, is Cliff Kingsbury that dude? Like,
I was gonna say that, but no, this just means it's gonna last. It's a quick burn. This might be the best thing that could happen to Kingsbury because he's gonna get it gets like a 4 game before people start really figuring it out. If you get 4 with Mariota and then start reset with Daniels, that'll get you to the playoffs.
I think so too. I think it's one of those things where kind of like the team on the other side of the field here with Andy Dalton. You get the bump when he comes in, but it always has a bit of a shelf life. Yeah. We'll see. Based on what I've read, the Jaden Daniels injury is not a serious injury.
No, you could tell. He was out there rooting on Marcus.
Yeah. For the Panthers, before we move on, this is just hilarious to me. Both quarterbacks played in this game. I guess they pulled Dalton when they realized this thing was just, completely out of reach. Andy Dalton goes 11 for 16, 93 yards passing.
Damn.
Bryce Young, perfect passer completion percentage, 2 for 2, -4 yards.
Damn, man.
The conversation around the Panthers right now is, should they go back to Bryce Young? Like at this point, like what are you playing for other than like just put him back out there and see if he can get better, see if the reps, help. I don't think it really matters. You can just keep playing Dalton or go play Young. I guess there is some logic. Play Young, let the kid play. Either way, the Panthers are also not serious people. They're not, if you have anybody on your fantasy roster who's playing against the Panthers, just play them. I don't care who they are. The other conversation is Deontay Johnson. 3 targets, 1 catch for 17 yards. A lot of people he's voicing his frustrations in the media, and he is now considered a potential trade target. Like he could be on another team.
Go Buffalo. Go get him, Buffalo.
So
all of a sudden, Buffalo have the fucking best receiver core.
Actually, the next game that we are going to talk about, I would say the Chiefs should be picking up the phone and making a call because, they win the game 28-18 against the 49ers, of course, but, they could certainly use a Deontay Johnson for sure. This one was all defense early. 49ers 3 and out. Chiefs turn over the ball on downs, going for a fake punt, but it didn't matter because Purdy threw a pick, which was matched by Mahomes throwing a pick, followed up by another 49ers 3 and out. It was just a crazy, weird start to the game, which really helped because we bet the under. That first quarter, I was like, oh, yeah, we're hitting the under for sure on this one. Purdy threw 3 picks on the day. Deebo Samuel barely played, despite the fact that Kyle Shanahan cleared him to play, which led to him getting 0 points in my fantasy team. Thanks, Kyle Shanahan.
Barely.
Ayuk took a gnarly hit.
The
report
is ACL.
No, it's confirmed. It's ACL and MCL.
Damn, that's what
Ayuk is done for the year. He's out for the year.
He held out too.
To Shanahan's credit, he learned that you can't blow a lead if you never had a lead, so that's good. He's 0-4 against Steve Spagnuolo defense. That's not good.
Somehow it's not talked about enough. That defense is one of the it's carrying Mahomes. Like they're looking more and more like, I mean, this is the structure of a dynasty. You got a great quarterback, and then you got a great defense. And this is what the last dynasty we had was the Patriots, and now it's currently the Chiefs. And that looks like the way to do it. Get a great defense. You got a defensive coordinator that does not have ambitions to be a head coach. He's going to be there. Unless he were to like take Andy Reid's place or something like that later down the line. But he's built something great, and he's just tinkering with it and just mastering every team's efforts. He's been a part of 2 organizations, multiple Super Bowl runs. He's going to Hall of Fame, man.
Agreed. And as far as on the offensive side of the ball, there was only one genius play caller on the field, and that's Andy Reid. I mean, you had a play where Mahomes trucked a safety.
Yeah.
You had Reid calling a play where he had both Mahomes and Carson Wentz lined up like running backs. I mean,
that's probably one of the ones he let the team draw up.
This game was brought to you straight from fuck Kyle Shanahan Island. This was all about just disrespecting that clown, and I was totally here for it.
Wow, what a surprise! You know what I'm totally here for?
Tell me.
A Jets loss. The Jets are 2-5, just like Dolphins 2-4. The Jets are worse than the Dolphins.
That's crazy.
It's insane. And the Dolphins have an excuse for now. They'll say that it's because the quarterback is down, even though I think there's a deeper problem. But the Jets, what the fuck? They just fixed everything. I thought they fixed it.
You know what my takeaway from this game was?
What was that?
Pittsburgh is where hype trains go to die. I mean,
damn, good point.
Look, it took a little time, but Russell Wilson started to heat up.
I don't want to call him that anymore. We can't just call this man Russell Wilson.
He has so many nicknames.
I gotta fire it up. I got a new nickname, man.
Okay.
Have you seen enough? Did you see chunks of this game, or like did you watch the whole game? How much did you see?
Yeah, I saw the highlights of this game.
Okay. Well, the highlights should have covered it too. This motherfucker's new name is Rainbow Russ. He's just Rainbow Russ is throwing it up there to Pickens and seeing what the fuck is gonna happen. I love it. This fucking he just lob it way up in the air. A little rainbow passes, and Rainbow Russ was at it, and I loved it. It was so exciting.
But that's what you need when you have a receiver like George Pickens, because he is arguably one of the best in the league at contested catches. He makes catches.
Was hard.
He makes these catches that you're not supposed to make. You know what I mean?
Yes. He almost had that one too. That it was like we had to reach around, but and every time it's pass interference, they just weren't calling it. He was getting interfered. Like, they called some, but on some of the catches or the attempts or there were incompletions, it could have been pass interference. They don't have it's like he's so hard to defend, and Russell Wilson is so savvy. He's just like, I got an option, and if they don't catch it, then if they pick it off, then they start way back there anyway. So fuck it, let's go for it. I loved it, and the Steelers ended up putting up 37 points. It's got to be their most all season, right?
Yeah, I think so.
In his first game back, and it makes Mike Tomlin look like a genius. Did you see? Oh, that was another thing. I almost put this as my shit got learned. They're special teams.
They block a punt like every week, or a field goal. Every week.
And this one they blocked too, but they called one back. They called some bullshit. Fitzpatrick, they said that he used some leverage or whatever. He did not. He touched the guy, but he didn't use it to get over and blocks the kick. It's like they were so hype about it. The whole team was so hype for the special teams coordinator that I was like, man, he got me amped up, and I'm not a Steelers fan.
Back to your original point, for the Jets, you kind of have to ask, what now? I mean, you fire the coach, you pull out all the stops, you hand the team over to the quarterback, you sign Devontae Adams, and you still get curb stomped by the Steelers. Like, what the fuck do you do now?
They got to trade Garrett Wilson, man. Get him out of there. No, I'm just kidding. They're a mess. They're a mess. I thought my team was a mess, but this is a mess.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You're giving up 37 points to a team that couldn't score 20. And you're supposed to be a top defense. After firing your defensive-minded head coach and promoting. Oof. And then, of course, first passing attempt went to Devontae Adams. Incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
You know he lost to the Steelers twice in 7 days?
Yeah, I know. It's really funny.
Enough about that. Let's talk about a barn burner. Two of my favorite quarterbacks going at it, man. In Lamar Jackson and my new favorite player in the NFL, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, the Ravens win this game 41-31. Don't let the score fool you. There were a lot of the Bucs scored most of those points quite late.
Yeah, they did. They were getting their ass beat.
This was a blowout that kind of evened out.
It was 34-10 going into the fourth.
The Bucs had a rough night. They lost Mike Evans early in the game, and then they lost Godwin quite late in the game. Bowles is being questioned publicly in the media about why do you even have him in the game at that point when you know there's not enough time for you to win it. He's saying, well, we're trying to score and do the onside kick and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to bury him for that, but they just went up against a better team. Baker throws a couple of picks, one of them in the end zone. Didn't help.
Yeah. He's still the best.
But honestly, I don't. When you play someone like Lamar Jackson, I mean, the guy just had 5 touchdowns, 281 yards, almost perfect, 17 for 22. Derrick Henry, 169 yards rushing, plus a receiving touchdown.
They were humming, man.
Rashad Bateman had 121 yards receiving. I mean, Mark Andrews. Everybody has been wondering when's Mark Andrews going to show up. Well,
he was on my fantasy.
He showed up. He had to. A lot of people have Mark Andrews sitting on their bench because they're just tired of relying on him. But if you did that, you're kicking yourself because this guy went off last night. I still argue that the Ravens are the best team in football.
They are. Head and shoulders above. No, I wouldn't say head and shoulders. But Ravens, Lions, if that's the Super Bowl, is that where we're headed?
Oh, I'm here for that.
I'm here for that, man.
I mean, I know the Chiefs are still undefeated, but I would pick the Ravens against the Chiefs if they go head-to-head, for sure, 100%. I mean, this was the best-case scenario for my Falcons, for sure. Us putting in such a horrible performance. Everybody in the NFC South lost, so that works out nicely for us.
That's good.
So thank you, Ravens.
And then the final game, how did this happen?
Stupid game.
How did this happen?
Why do they do? They do these 2 Monday night games.
Yeah.
And they take this Chargers-Arizona game and they bury it on ESPN Plus for all the viewers in the States. So it's like, if you don't have that, you can't see it. It's like, what?
What's the point? Yeah.
What is this? And I didn't even really think about it, but I was like, oh, this is a Harbaugh thing. That's why they're doing it. They got both Harbaughs on Monday night.
Oh.
I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, only one Harbaugh team showed up because the Chargers got embarrassed late. Took a late field goal to win it.
They only put up 15 points, man.
They put up 15 points despite the fact that Justin Herbert threw the ball for almost 350 yards. Yeah. Every time they got into the red zone, the drive just stalled and they had to settle for field goals. They moved the ball. They moved the ball just fine. They just couldn't put it in the end zone. I mean, this to me, if I'm a Chargers fan, I'm like, what the fuck did we just – what happened here?
If you hold a team to 17, you're supposed to win, man. And again, you hold a team to 15, you will win.
Yeah, because it's not like, I mean,
Cardinals
the Cardinals
aren't known for like staunch defense.
No, and it's not like the Cardinals were all that good in this game. I mean, James Conner had a good day, but Kyler struggled.
Yeah.
Only threw it for 145 yards. He scrambled like he always does. He had 64 yards rushing. I think he was the only one who. Well, he had a touchdown, but so did Greg Dortch. Had a touchdown. This Chargers is supposed to be better than this.
Yes, I was really, man. I was feeling, I don't know, man, shocked.
When we were getting ready to come on and talk about these games, I forgot. I was going to suggest, why don't we talk about this game before we talk about the Ravens game? Because, what a dud
man.
of a football game. That being said, we did hit. We can end on a positive note. We hit our can't miss parlay.
Yes.
Saquon touchdown. Commanders win. Bills win. Rams win. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, we had kind of a win some, lose some weekend in the betting market.
Yeah. Happens. Kind of came out kind of even.
I think it was dead even, actually.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But yeah.
Well, as for superlatives, my real MVP is obviously probably yours too. No. I know who yours is. I'm guessing who yours is. But mine is Saquon Barkley, man. Coming back, sticking it to your old team. Doing it on the ground and in the air and proving that you're still one of the best running backs in the league and making the owner regret or not, the GM possibly lose his job, as you said, might have happened in Tennessee when they faced A.J. Brown. I'm glad for him. He's always been the league tried to push him on us when he was in New York. Now I'm glad he's in Philly. And I got to tell, and the coach got behind him and made it a rah-rah moment that might turn the season around for the Eagles, who we bet to win that division. So I got to say, man, Saquon Barkley.
You the real MVP.
Who did you think my real MVP was going to be?
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I guess I could have done that, but I didn't.
Okay, who you got?
I'm going to go with Jared Goff.
Oh, that makes sense.
This dude has been so fucking clutch this year. He has the best passer rating in the NFL, 73% completion rate. Dude barely throws an incomplete pass. He's only second.
Barely.
To Jaden Daniels. But more importantly, the dude, he just never gets rattled. He always delivers, despite
that used to be his thing, too.
Yeah, despite the fact that we just assume he's this pocket passing statue of a quarterback just waiting to get crushed. But, I mean, what did he do with Amon-Ra St. Brown? 8 targets, 8 catches, over 100 yards? I mean, he stays calm. He goes about his business. And he just carves up whoever is in front of him, even if it's the best defense in the league. So, for that, Goff is my real MVP.
You the real MVP.
However, honorable mention to Deshaun Watson's Achilles tendon. With one bodily disruption, we can now watch the Browns without wanting to throw up in our mouths. For me personally, I don't have to deal with this complicated mixed emotions of rooting for my man, former Bulldog Nick Chubb, while also rooting for Watson to fail. So to Watson's Achilles, I say thank you for that.
Nice.
Fuck that guy.
All right. I'm going to do my trash right away. Because I started on it earlier. I might start handing out Fool's Gold awards when I realize that people are Fool's Gold. Because the number one Fool's Gold so far has been Josh Allen, and I stand by that statement. He's still a bottom 5 quarterback in the league, objectively. But no, seriously, Mike McDaniel. We thought they would win the game. Well, no, actually, I picked them to lose on my pigskin pick'em. I knew that I figured the Dolphins would lose this game, and I thought they would play Flacco. But whatever. This guy who's considered this offensive genius had 2 weeks to prepare for a team with a quarterback that has no arms and only has a deep ball. Like it's pretty much one-dimensional quarterback that can't read defense, young and inexperienced in every level of football, and can't muster more than 10 points. Like, just get 16 points. You got 2 weeks to figure it out. You got 2 of the best weapons in football, and you managed to get them the ball twice throughout the entire game. You got outcoached by Shane Steichen, just looking like a fool on the sidelines. It sucks. It sucked to watch it. You got me screaming at my TV. You couldn't put together a 2-minute drive when you still had the opportunity to win. I know it's Tim Boyle, but the final throw of the game, after throwing it across the middle to get tackled in bounds and try to run the clock. I mean, the clock is still running. Then Waddle goes on the route, Hill goes on the route, and they decide to throw it at the rookie wide receiver over his head out of bounds. Not even catchable. That's the way the game ends. Mike McDaniel.
You are trash!
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Embarrassing. I can't fathom that. No screen. Like, you throw screens when I hate it. When we don't want to see a screen, we see a screen, a little bubble screen. You know, something might happen. 3 fumbles. Ugh. That's not on the coach, but have your team prepared. Pre-snap penalties, we're up at the top of the league in pre-snap penalties. All of these are signs of bad coach. Extended them, of course. And on the sidelines, there's a image of the GM getting and the CEO arguing. It's not a good sign.
Uh-oh.
I told you not to sign that motherfucker. If you read lips.
Wow.
Told you not to sign that motherfucker. Should have kept Flores.
Oof. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
My week 8 trash. I'm going to go with the Giants. Specifically for paying Daniel Jones and letting Saquon go. And then in the revenge game, you have a chance to show out and show that you were right. You let that big money quarterback get sacked 7 times. And then your running back room racks up a total of 76 yards on 18 carries.
Well, that's got to be more than Saquon.
Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Embarrassing. And frankly, your fans deserve answers. I still think Brian Daboll is a good coach.
Agreed.
But these clowns running the show behind the scenes, y'all motherfuckers are trash.
You are trash!
Shit got learned. My shit got learned is the NFC North is the best division in football. There used to be kind of a laughing stock of the league, actually. But now they're looking good, man. The 2 best teams are going at it, making it look like a playoff game. The Lions and the Vikings. And then even the other teams aren't slouches. With the Packers and the Bears, all 4 teams have winning records. 3 of them have 5 wins.
Crazy.
This is the best division in football. Nobody saw this coming. Actually, we predicted them to be a pretty good division, but it's like we all think the AFC North is going to be the best or the NFC West is going to be the best. Nobody saw all 4 teams having winning records, and if the playoffs started right now, all 4 would be in the playoffs. It's pretty dope, and I hope it happens. It never happened before.
I honestly thought the Lions were going to run away with this division. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Vikings were going to be this good.
No, we didn't expect
the Bears were more like, oh, okay, we'll see. Rookie quarterback. I didn't believe in the Packers.
Nope.
But yeah, you're right. They're amazing.
Yeah. NFC North. That's where it's at.
My shit got learned. I wouldn't normally say this in week 7, but it's time to stick a fork in the New Orleans Saints.
Oh yeah, I feel bad for them though. I know you don't.
You're allowed to feel those feelings. After starting the season like a house on fire, this team has lost 5 straight. And now they find themselves standing on a pile of burnt embers and ash. Their offensive stats are all out of whack because of those first 2 games. But this team that prides itself on defense is beyond dreadful. 26th in points allowed per game, 28th in both rushing and passing yards allowed per game, and they're dead last in total yards allowed per game.
Damn.
To make matters worse, they're staring down the barrel of a very dark hole regarding their future. This team has kicked the can down the road and restructured contracts so many times in recent years to fend off going into a full rebuild mode. But next year, these Aints are going to be $87 million over the cap.
Oof.
$87 million with this roster. It's time to take it to the chop shop, strip it down, sell it for parts. Because the Saints are done. We'll see you next year.
Oof. At least they got Spencer Rattler. All right. I'm going to do my spec. I'm putting some spec on.
Marcus Mariota.
Oh, Marcus Mariota, man, came in when a young stud went down, and he did not only hold it down, but he extended the lead, executed the offense pretty well, running around, ran the ball 11 times. He's putting up the yards, throwing for touchdowns. It was the Marcus Mariota of now, because it wasn't even that good before. I'm so glad that he came out and showed us what Oregon potential that he had coming out of college. And now we got to see him, and he's not so much a laughing stock. He wasn't really laughing stock, but, we just felt like it was over for him. We watched him on that quarterback thing, and it was just, like, cringy to see just the dark side of the journeyman quarterback. But I'm glad it worked out this time, and he can hold the fort down until the young buck gets back. So tell everybody, Marcus.
Put some respect on my name.
Oos.
I'm going to put some spec on Mike Tomlin.
Ooh, he got spec.
I mean, how many coaches have the balls to bench a quarterback with a winning record because he knows that he has a guy who can unlock some of the problems with their offense? How many coaches have the balls to say about Justin Fields that it's important to not mistake good with great? How many coaches can face that kind of pressure while also having to deal with this hype train that is coming into town in the form of the New York Jets? Everybody talking about them like they're legitimate playoff contenders. Tomlin stood by his conviction, unleashed his defense as always, stifled the run, living in the backfield, walking away with a couple of interceptions for their effort. But when it came to the switch that everyone was piling on him for, what happens? Russell Wilson goes 16 for 29, 264 yards, and 2 touchdown passes, earns a new nickname, Rainbow Russ.
Rainbow Russ, baby.
Pickens finally has over 100 yards and a touchdown. Suddenly the run game looks good again, because that's what happens when you have a quarterback that defenses know can throw the fucking football, which is why Najee Harris pops off for over 100 yards. Look, y'all can all doubt Mike Tomlin at your peril. Personally, I think this man deserves a little more respect to be put on his goddamn name.
Put some respect on my name.
Fantastic. All right, man. I think for the first time this season, we got the same AFC and NFC scariest teams. I have Ravens and the Lions, and I'm sure you do as well.
Agreed.
So our covers are going to stay as they were last week, our cover colors on our episode.
Agreed.
For these teams that earned it. When you get your colors up, you earned it from SveNFL. So
That's right.
Well done. That's what every team is hoping for. I did very well last week or this week in Flip 'em Pick 'em. I mean, not Flip 'em. In Flip 'em Pick 'em I did, but in Pigskin Pick 'em. And I'm in 4th place.
Wow.
Yeah. Because there's a tie in 2nd, so yeah. And then I'm in 4th.
I don't know where
Alexander is up there, still in number 1, holding it down. He's fighting them off. They're right behind you, bro. I don't know where you at, Skip.
I'm trying to see.
Are you Swift 16?
I'm in 25th place.
Yeah, Skiff. I see it now. Skiff Stradamus. And I'm Goat Stradamus up there for even though I missed a week. Huh? Your boy missed a week. Or the first games of that week. So I missed like 8 games. And still up there.
I'm like over 100 points behind the leader. I got to go on a run.
Hang in there, man. Man, but this Alexander's up here kicking ass. Good job.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah. All right. This has been fun, man. Another one in the books. Another SveNFL episode in the books. You know how we do. Holding it down at all times. And when you hear that horn, that means it's going down. It's either the beginning of something great or the end of something special. Thank y'all for checking it out. It has been Jonathan, the big dog. No, Jonathan Rollins.
Skip Mizara.
With SveNFL. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Later, y'all.